Now, someone else who's been following along with the summit and is here to say a few words about your summit journey is Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for Wells Fargo, Scott Powell.
People with disabilities are changing the way the world sees us. Some are teachers.
We are extraordinary thinkers.
We're business executives.
Change makers.
We speak to audiences.
Visionary leaders.
Collaborate one-on-one.
Resilient.
Or with our mentors.
Resourceful.
People with disabilities are.
We are invincible.
At Wells Fargo, we celebrate you. Wells Fargo proudly supports organizations that empower people with disabilities through financial health and employment initiatives.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I really wish I could be there in person. So maybe next year I'll be able to join in person. I'm Scott Powell. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Wells Fargo, and I'm happy to be part of the closing section of the program. Disabilities and advocating for people with disabilities is very important to me. I have a son who's 30 years old who has Down syndrome. And being part of Sam's journey over the last 30 years has really taught me a lot about the issues around disabilities. And my role at Wells Fargo really provides me with the opportunity to have some impact on the issue here at Wells Fargo. We still have a lot of work to do. This is an important journey for us here at Wells Fargo. I am proud to be one of the co-sponsors of our employee networking group for people with disabilities. We have over 9,000 members. We have, as I said, a number of initiatives. One of our members that I would like to give a big shout out to is Chauncey Barnhill, who's in our operations area. He was just named the 2021 Employee of the Year by Careers in Disabled magazine for one of the innovative programs that he helped steward here at Wells Fargo, where we hired over 100 people with disabilities. And so that's one of a number of programs we have. And as I said, we have more work to do, but absolutely committed to doing it across the firm. I think it's really cool that you guys included a hike up the mountain in your program. I think that's an awesome way. Personally, it works for me too. I found that doing outdoor events and doing endurance events is really important for my mental health. And so I would encourage everyone to do that, do more of that. So I think the concept of no barriers is really spot on. I mean, I think what we're all trying to do is break down people's perceived barriers of people with disabilities. And so whether you're an employer, whether you're an advocate, changing how people think about our capabilities for people with disabilities and creating the inclusive environment in our workplaces and our communities just creates the kind of environment that we all want to be part of. Okay, well, I'd like to say a big thank you to the audience, participants, the organizers, and also give a big shout out to all the Wells Fargo employees out there.
Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you, Wells Fargo. I'm always impressed by our sponsors. Being a good rope team is one of their values, and we are proud to partner with people at Wells Fargo and all of our other sponsors. Just like Wells Fargo pledges to make financial health more inclusive for anyone with any ability, we've been asking you throughout the day to make a pledge for yourself. A pledge is a personal commitment to making tangible progress towards your vision. Perhaps your pledge is to write a book, run a race, take time out of every day to meditate, maybe to reach out to a long lost friend. When you read your pledge, it should both excite and frighten you. As you've learned today, your pledge is challenging you to reach outside your comfort zone. It's not meant to be easy, but it is something that should ignite a fire inside of you to make you think, what if I accomplish this? What might life be like on the other side after I've done it? If you're still thinking about your pledge, I want to introduce you to someone who exemplifies making a promise to themselves and fulfilling it. I'm excited to share our next segment featuring Sam Schmidt. If you were on site at the summit in Keystone, you were able to learn a bit about Sam and to see the Sam car. For those of you who weren't able to join us, the Sam car is a race car specifically designed for Sam. Sam has loved racing since he was young, and he set a goal to race in the Indy 500. In 1997, he made that dream come true, and he added many more completed races to his resume. But in 2000, Sam suffered a horrendous crash, which rendered him quadriplegic. He was still passionate about racing and founded his own racing team, Sam Schmidt Motorsports. He went on to partner with Aero Electronics, who created the Sam car, a Corvette built specifically for him that he can drive with his head and mouth. Over the years, Sam was able to participate in the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, where he reached speeds of 152 miles per hour. And he's the first person to ever receive a semi-autonomous driver's license. And with that, let's go over to Sam.
Hey everyone, I'm Sam Schmidt. Last time we were together was on the USS Intrepid in New York City in 2018. I'd really like to be there with you in the mountains, but we're in the home stretch of the IndyCar Series, and our team is fighting for the championship. As many of you know, I've been racing since I was 5 years old, and it has been my life dream to race an Indy 500. September of 1999, I was fortunate enough to win an IndyCar race in my adopted hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada. I was at the pinnacle of my career with an amazing family and everything looking great in front of me. Unfortunately, during a preseason test in January 2000, our lives were changed forever. I hit the wall going 200 miles per hour, blasted apart my C3, C4 vertebrae, and became a quadriplegic. The doctors told my wife that if I made it through the night, to find me a nursing home, as I'd be on a ventilator for the rest of my life. Little did they know how stubborn we were. I started doing intensive therapy as soon as I was physically able, and still do it today. Within a year of my accident, I started a race team and a nonprofit organization called Conquer Paralysis Now. I needed to keep busy and get back to life. 2 years ago, we opened a neuro recovery center in Las Vegas called Driven. That is what I am and what I believe we all need to be, driven. In 2014, Aero Electronics in Denver reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in driving again. Thought about it for maybe a second, and of course I said yes, but we have to go fast. The engineers have enabled the SAM cars to be driven entirely by me, utilizing my head. We started out at 107 miles per hour at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 2014, just 7 months after that conversation. That is where the SAM project began. SAM isn't about me. It's about semi-autonomous mobility that evolves every year. Our SAM projects evolve every year as well. Last year, we began the evolution of an exoskeleton to allow me to dance with my daughter at her wedding. I can tell you that was the best day of the last 21 years. Let's just say there wasn't a dry eye in the room, thanks to Aero. This year, I drove the Corvette at 201 miles per hour, but we couldn't stop there. Just in July, I competed at the Goodwood Festival of Speed in England, a lifelong dream of mine. I was up against hundreds of able-bodied drivers from around the world and ended up in the middle of the pack. Let's just say the middle of the pack won't cut it. With the new C8 Corvette's mid-engine design, it was a fantastic balance, which has allowed me to drive even faster. This is what I'm really here to speak with you about today. We wish we weren't in a wheelchair, but it's our path in life. What can we do? Find your passion. Racing has been my passion since I was 5 years old, and I've found a way to stay in racing, even from a wheelchair. No, it isn't the same as being in an IndyCar, but when I'm driving, I feel free. I feel normal. I even feel more normal at 200 miles an hour. The point I'm trying to make is you need to find that passion that makes you want to go through the aggravation of getting up in the morning. It could be athletics, computers, coaching your kids, farming, whatever truly drives you to get out there. Once you find that passion, technology can make new things possible and many tasks easier. Siri and Alexa alone have made my life much more productive. Don't be afraid to embrace the possibilities in technology. I'm an old fart and I'm figuring it out. It is constantly evolving, improving to make our lives better. With technology, my life is busier now than ever. I know that I'm extremely fortunate to have an unbelievable support system, great insurance, and opportunities since my accident. But even without these, there are many programs and opportunities to get things done. Yes, I have incredibly bad days. We all do. Incredibly difficult days. What we have to find is that passion that makes these days fewer and easier to get through. There are so many opportunities out there for all of us. The only thing holding you back is your attitude. Believe you can do it, and you will make things happen. With everything I've accomplished since being paralyzed, I can honestly say anything is possible. Thank you. Enjoy the summit.
Holy cow, that was amazing, Sam. Thank you so much. I love that Sam and the Aero team had the vision to really show the world what might be possible through the innovative use of technology. The rope team that they put together to make this possible was extraordinary. Speaking of technology, I want to share a bit about our innovation and technology co-sponsor, Unlimited Tomorrow. Unlimited Tomorrow creates amazing prosthetic bionic arms through 3D printing, and each arm is personalized to the wearer. But don't take it from me. Let's listen to Unlimited Tomorrow founder and CEO Easton LaChapelle, who has a few words for us.
I'm Easton LaChapelle, founder and CEO of Unlimited Tomorrow. We are so excited to be sponsoring this inspiring event and to be partnering with No Barriers, as well as students and teachers to support the Global Impact Challenge. What you're doing here is important. The world is making progress, but people with disabilities still face far too many obstacles in life. Helping them overcome those challenges and break down barriers is really noble work. So thank you for being part of this event. If you aren't familiar with Unlimited Tomorrow, it's a company that, in many ways, began just like a project one of you might be working on for the Global Impact Challenge. I started Unlimited Tomorrow when I was 18 because I wanted to make a positive impact on the lives of people living with an upper limb difference. 7 years later, we are breaking down barriers and pushing boundaries through the use of technology and collaboration. So think big, and thank you again for being part of the Global Impact Challenge.
Thanks so much, Easton. And now that Easton mentioned the Global Impact Challenge, I want to tell you a bit about it. The No Barriers Global Impact Challenge is an annual competition that challenges student teams to address a critical barrier that matters to them. Using the No Barriers Life framework, much like what you're learning today, we guide these students on their journey to creating lasting change in their community. This year, there are 2 tracks to the Global Impact Challenge: Diversity and Inclusion, which is sponsored by Wells Fargo, and Technology for Accessibility, which is sponsored by Unlimited Tomorrow and Aero. That Technology for Accessibility track is where we're asking kids to address an accessibility issue through the innovative use of technology that makes lives better for people with disabilities. Over the years, the projects that kids have implemented in the Global Impact Challenge have been incredible. We've seen teams of students develop an accessible line of clothing, build accessible nature trails, create mental health awareness campaigns, and so much more. So if you know a student or a teacher that might like to participate, or are a student and teacher yourself, you can win cash prizes to bring your ideas to fruition. Just head over to nobarriersusa.org to learn how to get started. Thanks again to Unlimited Tomorrow, Aero Electronics, and Wells Fargo for their generous support of this program. Someone else who elevates the world through her work with youth is Jenny Vidval. Jenny is an equine circus performer and also the co-founder of the Al and Joyce Vidval Foundation. This foundation is a nonprofit that is dedicated to bringing animals and humans together to create the ultimate animal-human connection. Jenny will be performing tonight with her many horses, which are all rescues. She performs a beautifully choreographed routine with them, which has also helped with their personal rehab therapy after being rescued. Let's hear a bit from Jenny and watch this amazing performance.
name is Jenny Vidbell, and I am co-founder of the Vidbell Foundation, a foundation that was inspired by my grandparents, Al and Joyce Vidbell, who spent their life caring for animals. Now, not only did they care for animals, but they developed a deep and meaningful relationship throughout the years. They taught me from a very young age that every animal that came to this farm has their very own unique personalities. They're just like people. They have their own dislikes and likes, and it's our job as animal communicators to figure out what that is and to make their best world possible.
And that is what we're doing here through the Vidbell Foundation. We are bringing children and adults, all with very different personalities and needs, and pairing them with the perfect animal partner. Together, they will build a relationship through mutual respect, trust, and love. It's going to be a wonderful adventure.
Know that like they trust you. It feels good to know that you can trust them. And it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like to build your trust with an animal, you have to let them trust you.
I pet them. I give them food. And they also give them scratches.
And who did you make best friends with?
Rocky.
I love just taking care of every single animal and just helping them.
I like taking care of animals so they can stay alive for longer.
I love helping animals.
Me too.
It also just like, I know I mostly say that I wish COVID never happened, but if COVID never happened, I never get to do this. So coming here during COVID helped me do something, get out of the house. And it also just like gave me like a good feeling about it. And not everything was bad.
Thanks, Jenny. Your horses are beautiful, and I love what you're doing for the kids. And now I'd like to introduce you to our next performer, who also elevates those around him through his performances. He's a violinist, educator, chair of music at Milton Academy, a No Barriers ambassador and board member. His name is Adrian Anantuan. A bit of background on Adrian. He was born without a right hand, and despite the odds, he became a world-class violinist. He has studied with world-famous musicians, performed at locations such as the White House and the United Nations. He played for the late Christopher Reeve, Pope John Paul II, and the Dalai Lama. Adrian's also the founder of the Music Inclusion Program, aimed at having children with disabilities learn instrumental music with their typical peers. So with that, I bring you my friend and colleague, Adrian Anantuan.
Hi there, my name is Adrian Anantuan. I am so pleased and honored to be here for the closing ceremonies for the No Barrier Summit and speaking specifically to elevation in my life. So I was born without a right hand, although I was very fortunate to have this adaptation for me to be able to move my bow back and forth. But it really was a combination of not only the belief in others they had in my gifts, but also the idea that I could believe in myself to be able to elevate past my challenges. So the piece that I'm playing for you today is called Meditation by Jules Massenet, and it really does speak to this idea of elevation and elevating your life ascending to greater heights. We always do this when we meditate, but this piece in particularly speaks to the story of a young woman who is making a choice between doing what is easy and then what is really hard, and going to the desert and really finding this way of being able to become a better person through the solitude and walking through these trials. So I hope that it finds you in a good spot and reflects the type of inspiration that I know you've had as much as me as a result of being part of this incredible institution and organization. Be well, and I hope that elevation finds your life in so many different ways. Take care.
Thanks so much, Adrian. I've had the great privilege of listening to you perform quite a few times, and I'm always so inspired and moved by the beauty of your music. You're definitely someone who embodies living a no barriers life. Another amazing person who's an inspiration to everyone around him is one of our No Barriers ambassadors who you met earlier today. His name's J.R. Martinez. In case you don't know him, J.R. Martinez is an actor, best-selling author, motivational speaker, advocate, winner of the Mirrorball Trophy on Dancing with the Stars, season 13, you may have seen him there, and wounded U.S. Army veteran. After hitting a roadside bomb during active duty, JR suffered burns to 34% of his body, resulting in many, many surgeries. During his recovery, he learned that inspiration is often a two-way street. JR was also raised in a bilingual household, and he understands the importance of diversity and inclusion. We're so excited to have JR with us today, as he'll be speaking a few words for us in Spanish. Don't worry if you're not a Spanish speaker yourself. We're going to have captions for you to follow along. So without any delay, let's head over to JR. Disfrútalo.
Buenas, me llamo J.R. Martínez. Perdón que no puedo estar con ustedes en esta conferencia de Sin Barreras, No Barriers, pero hace 2-3 semanas mi familia tuvimos un bebé. Entonces estamos aquí en la casa tratando de dormir cuando nos da la chance el bebé y al mismo tiempo tomando oportunidad nosotros para querer y abrazar y andar con el bebé por donde quiera que andamos a la casa. Pero me da un placer para poder grabar este video, para estar hablando con ustedes en esta conferencia, porque la verdad, esta organización es una de las organizaciones que en verdad me pega al corazón. Yo siempre me gusta venir para aprender, para escuchar, para aprender la verdad de todos los presentadores que están diciendo algo. Tienen algo que decir, tienen algo que ofrecer. No solamente son la gente que posiblemente han hecho esto, han hecho lo otro, que se ve en la televisión o cualquier cosa. No, todos en esta conferencia tenemos una experiencia para ayudar a las demás personas, ¿verdad? Y esa es la importancia de elevar. No solamente tener la experiencia uno mismo, decir, esta es mi experiencia. No, es la importancia de decir, yo tengo una experiencia ahora, lo que yo he aprendido, lo que yo he escuchado, ahora voy a ofrecer esta información a la demás gente también. Eso es lo que tenemos que hacer nosotros. Porque en la cultura latina, lo que hacemos nosotros, lo que nos importa a nosotros es familia, la comunidad, ¿verdad? Cómo nos cuidamos. Pero a veces lo que pasa en la vida cuando nos pasa algo en la vida, porque nos pasa algo a todos, nos encontramos en una isla donde no pensamos que tenemos comunidad. No pensamos que tenemos familia, gente que nos entienden, gente que nos van a soportar hasta lo último, gente que van a decir, yo estoy aquí para escucharte. Para mí, eso es lo que yo he encontrado aquí en la familia de Sin Barreras. Porque familia no es solamente lo de sangre, ¿verdad? Lo que yo he aprendido es que familia es más grande de solamente de sangre. Es otra gente que va encontrando uno en la vida y decir, ¿sabes qué? Esa persona sí me entiende, esa persona ha tenido la misma experiencia o posiblemente algo muy cerca, ¿verdad? Pero yo siento una conexión a esa persona, entonces yo voy a seguir buscando la forma de mantener a esa persona en mi vida. Yo me encanta, como dije al principio, a mí me encanta venir a esta conferencia. Y para mí lo que importa más de todo, es tomar la experiencia que yo he tenido para elevar a la demás gente, no solamente a mí mismo. Es importante, por supuesto, uno cuidarse a uno mismo, a estar preparado uno mismo antes que puede ayudar a la demás gente. Pero para eso estamos aquí en esta conferencia, para ayudarnos, para estar juntos, para escuchar uno al otro las historias, para presentar un espacio donde todos pensamos y sentimos que podemos ofrecer algo. Tenemos que decir, ¿sabes qué? Hay fuerza en mi historia. Hay fuerza en mi experiencia. Hay algo especial. Esta es una familia. Esta organización, si pueden mirar alrededor de ustedes ahorita, pueden ver a la demás gente. No importa la edad, no importa de qué parte del mundo son ellos. Ustedes y nosotros nos conectamos porque hemos tenido la experiencia. Hemos tenido obstáculos, hemos tenido cosas que nos han cambiado la vida, posiblemente por un tiempo o por el resto de nuestras vidas. Pero esa fuerza es algo que tenemos en nuestra sangre. A veces la gente nos mira a los latinos y yo soy orgulloso de ser latino. Mi papá de México, de Monterrey, mi mamá de El Salvador, de La Unión. Pero mucha gente no sabe, pues, Gerard, ¿cómo llegaste donde llegaste? Bailando con las estrellas, ser un actor después de tener 19 años y lo que te pasó y mira lo que hiciste con tu vida. Mira lo que estás haciendo con tu vida. Ahorita estoy estudiando, estoy en colegio ahorita. No tengo que estar en colegio estudiando para nada, pero yo lo hago porque quiero seguir aprendiendo. Yo siempre estoy buscando la forma de algo que me va, no sé, algo que me hace trabajar un poquito más duro, ¿verdad? Porque es fácil en la vida decir, bueno, yo he hecho lo que he hecho, me voy a sentar aquí, estoy a gusto con la vida que tengo ahorita. No, la vida se trata de más, de siempre buscar la forma, de elevarse uno mismo. Pero cuando la gente me pregunta, ¿cómo hiciste llegar a todos esos lugares? Yo les digo siempre mi cultura. Yo siempre le digo de mi mamá. Desde pequeño, cuando yo siempre he visto a mi mamá, no importa lo que ella estaba pasando en la vida, ella siempre tenía la sonrisa y la fuerza de seguir y pelear. Porque nosotros somos peleadores, ¿verdad? Pero no de una forma mala, pero una forma que estamos buscando, la forma que vamos a pelear, que vamos a buscar la forma de salir adelante. Eso ya está en la sangre de nosotros. Entonces lo que importa para nosotros es que tenemos que buscar la forma de seguir, a buscar la comunidad, a buscar la gente que van a ayudarnos a llegar a ese punto. Para reconocer lo que tenemos es esa fuerza que tenemos adentro de nosotros y decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo puedo y lo voy a hacer. No solamente sí se puede. Porque sí se puede, se escucha bien, ¿verdad? Sí se puede. Pero la pregunta siempre viene a llegar a usted. Sí se puede, pero usted está dispuesto a hacerlo. Usted está dispuesto a decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo estoy aquí para elevarme a mí mismo. Yo voy a escuchar, yo voy a aprender. Yo voy a tomar todo lo que está adentro de mí, esta experiencia, mi cultura, toda la fuerza que está dentro de mi corazón y de mi sangre, y voy a buscar la forma de elevarme a mí mismo y luego también voy a traer un amigo, voy a traer una amiga, porque hay suficiente para todos, para que todos podamos disfrutar. Mi vida, yo a 19 años cuando me pasó el accidente en el militar en Irak, 19 años yo tenía cuando me vi la cara por la primera vez, cuando yo acepté la realidad de lo que me había pasado y de cómo me iba a parecer por el resto de mi vida. Y sí, fue duro. No, por supuesto, todos sabemos eso, ¿verdad? Pero lo que estoy aquí para decirles a ustedes, que yo siempre dije, no voy a darle la oportunidad a lo que me pasó para controlar el resto de mi vida. Yo voy a buscar la forma de sobrevivir. Aquí en No Barriers, sin barreras, todos los días estamos aprendiendo. Todos los días nos estamos motivando uno al otro. Es una comunidad. Y la verdad, y ojalá que ustedes lo han sentido en estos días que han estado aquí, viene siendo en persona o no, o por la computadora o el teléfono. Ojalá que ustedes han podido decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo siento que es una familia. Porque esta experiencia, esta oportunidad de conectar con otra gente que han pasado lo mismo, que reconocen cómo es lo difícil para sobrevivir a un obstáculo que nos han presentado en la vida, está aquí la oportunidad. Sí se puede. Pero again, le hago la pregunta a ustedes si ustedes están dispuestos a hacerlo. O sea, no tomen lo que han aprendido, lo que han escuchado en estos días y decir cuando se acaba todo, decir, eso estuvo bien, me gustó la experiencia y nos vemos en un año, nos vemos en 6 meses, nos vemos en 9 meses. No, no. Nosotros tenemos la oportunidad de conectar con otra gente, de hacer una comunidad, de ser una familia. Nosotros estamos aquí en este mundo para elevar nosotros, pero nuestras raíces, nuestra raza, nuestra gente, para que la gente sepa que nosotros somos fuerte. Nosotros, lo que tenemos adentro de nosotros es más fuerte de lo que la vida puede poner enfrente de nosotros. Yo soy ejemplo de eso y yo sé que ustedes son ejemplo de eso también. Entonces yo espero el día que nos podemos encontrar en persona, nos damos un abrazo, nos damos la mano y ahí estamos hablando de la vida y lo que tú has aprendido, lo que yo he aprendido y ahí estamos haciendo la comunidad y más importante, creciendo la familia. Entonces con mucho amor, con mucho cariño, con muchas bendiciones a todos los que están escuchando esto, mirando esto ahorita. Te doy gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes, aunque desafortunadamente es por esta forma, pero gracias a Dios que tenemos esta tecnología, ¿verdad? Para que podamos estar comunicados, conectados. Te doy gracias y espero el día que nos vemos en persona. Bendiciones a todos, gracias, nos vemos.
Gracias, JR. No matter what language you're sharing your story through, your attitude towards knocking down barriers never fails to amaze me. You're such an inspiration. We love having you as one of our No Barriers ambassadors. I understand a congratulations is also in order, JR. All of us at No Barriers want to send a huge hug and congratulations to you and your family on your new bundle of joy. We can't wait to take him on a few No Barriers adventures when he gets older. With that, I want to get right over to our next performer, Mandy Harvey. Mandy has also been a No Barriers ambassador for many years. She's a board member as well. And hearing her perform always gives me goosebumps. You may know Mandy as the finalist on the 12th season of America's Got Talent. She awed the crowd with her amazing voice and her incredible music ability. 500 million people saw her perform around the globe. She also happens to be deaf. So get ready to move and groove. Take it away, Mandy.
Hey, when I feel like I'm all broken pieces that I wish I could just throw away, look for glue I can put in between them, back in place, back in place. 'Cause my heart is way up on the ceiling and my mind took a boat sailed away, but I still got my angels and demons, used up string, can of paint. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I've got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces, pieces of me, and it'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Might never be done, might never be done. Might never be, there's no blueprint for me, no instructions. So I went ahead and made them up. But I know that it's worth all the trouble. Paper cuts. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I've got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces of me, and it'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Might never be done, might never be done. never be, might never be done. Yeah, I look pretty good from a distance, but I'm a mess if you see me close up. It's an ongoing pièce de resistance. All lit up, light it up. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces, pieces of me, and I'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces, pieces of me, and I'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Might never be done, might never be, might never be done. Might never be done, might never be, might never be done, might never be done. Standing on the edge, I feel I'm falling. It's a moment where everything will change. The world behind me now is fading. I'm scared of the rush and wanting it all to stay the same. Just hold my hand right now, don't let go. Just hold my hand right now, don't let go. All my fear has held me captive. Tethered down to feeling small. But I've got a chance of flying. It's just one step for me before I risk it all. Just hold my hand right now, don't let go. Don't let go. Just hold my hand right now, don't let go. Don't let go. Just hold my hand right now, don't let go. Don't let go. Just hold my hand right now, don't let go. Don't let go. Stand on the edge, I feel I'm falling. Woo woo! Gosh, I love you guys so much. It's such an honor for me to be a part of this year's summit and to be a part of the board. I've been connected with this amazing organization for, gosh, I don't even remember how many years. It's been such a long time. And they've made such an incredible impact, not just on me as a person, but on all the things that I do in the way that I look at life and my career and how that has changed and expanded truly because of you. And I wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of a community where we work hard together to figure out innovative solutions to the problems that we think are far too big for us ever to pull down. And yet somehow we put our bootstraps on, we go for it, and we work as a team to smash down those barriers. And it is amazing. So I wanted to dedicate this whole little mini concert to this idea of you guys being a part of my rope team, which is how I feel you are. We are climbing the summit together and we are tethered. The first song was called Masterpiece, and that's about loving and embracing every piece of who you are, even the pieces and parts that you don't like. Sometimes you wish you could throw away, or you wake up in the morning and you pray that your body is just not that way, but it is. And then realizing that that's what made you unique and that's what makes you beautiful. And it's changed you into the person that you are today. And so that you are celebrating that. The next song that we did was Don't Let Go, which is about that fear that comes at us all when we know that we're about to have this major life change. But at the same time, we're at peace because we're holding on to each other and moving forward as a team. This next song is new. It's called Lucky. And this is connected to the element of reach, which is not just creating this amazing dream, but the work that goes into actively going for it, regardless of if it works out the first time. The song is a celebration of knowing that it's not going to be easy. And I'm going to fail and it's going to get messy, but I'm going to get back up again and again and again and be better for it. So this song is inspired by you and for you. Not afraid of the work, been down in the dirt, trying to get so high. Know the stars from the sky, but I can't reach. No, 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 that I can't reach. When I'm not lucky, brush it off and get up again. When no one loves me, I become my own best friend. When I'm not lucky, when I'm not lucky, start it over again. Not about who's first, getting lost in the nerve, lost of safety net. Was it all in my head that I can't reach? No, 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 that I can't reach. What I want, yeah. When I'm not lucky, brush it off and get up again. When no one loves me, I become my own best friend. When I'm not lucky, when I'm not lucky, start it over again. Where is the door that's open now? Where is the light behind the cloud? Trying to break through, I don't know how. Digging my heels into the ground. I've come too far to give up now. I've come too far to give up now. Where is the heart behind the cloud? Where is the light behind the trying to break through, I don't know how. Digging my heels into the ground. I come too far to give up now. I come too far to give up now. Give up now. Give up now. Nice to meet you, away flying. Is it all in my head? I'm second guessing, but I'm trying before it all disappears. Seconds turned into minutes, wasted time instead of living. Please don't stand in my way. I am running out of nowhere. Yes, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'll lose the race if I wait. I'm so close that I can taste it. Yes, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Whoa, and this time I'm gonna make it. Whoa, and this time. The hardest part of all is knowing how to catch my breath. I'm scared to risk it all, take a chance, close my eyes and try again. With seconds turn into minutes, wasted time instead of a living. Please don't stand in my way. I am running out of nowhere. Yes, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'll lose the race if I wait. I'm so close that I can taste it. Yes, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Whoa, man, this time I'm gonna make it. Whoa, man, this time. Whoa, man, this time I'm gonna make it. Whoa, man, this time. This time I'm gonna make it. I'm not the same kid I used to be. Oh, this time I'm gonna make it. Gonna chase it from here. 'Cause seconds turned into minutes, wasted time instead of a living. Please don't stand in my way. I am running out of nowhere. Yes, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'll lose the race if I wait. I'm so close that I can taste it. Yes, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Whoa, man, this time I'm gonna make it. Whoa, man, this time. Whoa, man, this time I'm gonna make it. Whoa, man, this time. Yeah. Before we finish with our last song for this mini concert, I wanted to say again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for you guys being you. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community, and it's amazing because you're in it. And thank you for being such a support and encouragement to me. I know that growing up, it was a very difficult space, and I struggled on so many different levels. And when I first lost my hearing, I was just angry. And then getting to a point where I got to meet people from this amazing nonprofit, they changed my thinking to see the world not as a broken mess, but as
a blank canvas ready to be painted into something different. And it gave me an opportunity to change my story from being the sad pity girl to being somebody who dreams again. So I wanted to sing this last song, which was encouraged entirely by you guys to put myself in an uncomfortable situation and perform it on national TV. And for all of you who are at home, who are not able to be here in person, I wanted to say that the impact of you being away doesn't change. We're all in this together, and we get an opportunity every single day to do amazing things. And I believe truly in my bones that because we are working together as one community, we can break down any barrier that is in front of us. And that is an amazing thing to think about. I'm looking forward to a year in the future when we all can come together and we can all hug each other without fear and celebrate our uniqueness as we sing and dance and party on. It's going to be amazing to see, but more so, it's going to be amazing to know that we're going to live in a world with people who care and people who want to move forward together. If we would just get out of our own way and try.
I don't feel the way I used to. The sky is gray much more than it is blue. But I know one day I'll get through. And I'll take my place again if I would try. If I would try. I don't love the way I need to. You need more, and I know that much is true. So I'll fight for our breakthrough, and I'll breathe in you again if I would try. If I would try. There is no one for me to blame, 'cause I know the only thing in my way is me.
I want to say thank you to this amazing band who's helping me here. Will, Dan, and JT. I'm looking forward to us jamming in real life soon.
I don't live the way I want to. That whole picture never came into view. But I'm tired of getting used to the day. So I will try. So I will try. If I would try. If I would try.
Wow. Thank you, Mandy. Your singing always brings tears to my eyes. We're so happy that you're a part of our rope team. You're such an inspiration to our No Barriers community. Mandy has gone from No Barriers participant to world-renowned musician, and we could not be more proud of you. Thanks so much, Mandy. Now, while we've reached the end, if you've purchased the VIP ticket, you are in for an extra treat. Make sure to follow the instructions you've received to join the Paint and Sip class with John Bramblin. A quick note about John. John is a non-visual painter, the first blind muralist in the world, and he has developed techniques that help him navigate a canvas and create colorful, impressionistic paintings that are truly remarkable. For anyone who hasn't signed up for this session, don't fret. Make sure to check out John's website to see other classes that he may be offering somewhere near you. You can check it out at johnbramlett.com. With that, I'd really like to thank you all for joining us at our first ever hybrid, in-person and virtual No Barriers Summit. We've climbed mountains. We've practiced taking care of ourselves through meditation. We've learned about some of the latest and greatest technology that's out there. We've made new friends. It's been an extraordinary journey together. But most importantly, we've had a chance to go through your journey and to encourage you to take your pledge, a promise to you, yourself, and your community to live your best life. Whatever your pledge is or will be, we at No Barriers are here to help you through your journey. Don't forget to submit your pledge on this platform here on our portal, or you can always email it to summit@nobarriersusa.org. We encourage you to join our membership community, which is a place where we support each other to fulfill those pledges. It includes monthly events, instructor-led courses, an incredibly supportive community. It is the place to stay connected with us. Check out our website and enroll. I hope that you've enjoyed this summit. And I recognize that you've done a lot of work to get to this point. We are thrilled that you joined our No Barriers community, and I hope to be able to provide you many more opportunities to grow in the future. If you're able, we'd love for you to send a donation and pay it forward to someone else so that they too can attend a future No Barriers event. You can text NB Summit to 91999, and you'll be directed to our No Barriers donations page. Also, be sure to tag us on social at No Barriers USA and use the hashtag No Barriers Summit. Now, don't think just because we're done on the main stage that this is the end. Make sure you take a look around this platform, our virtual platform, visit those expo booths, check out the breakout rooms, and explore. Make sure you've signed up for the Wells Fargo Career Fair through their booth. This fair will be held tomorrow from 9 to 12 Mountain Time, and career counselors are really excited to help you on your employment journey. Thank you again to all of you for joining us. Thanks to our No Barriers staff and volunteers and sponsors and activity providers, speakers, performers for helping build out this experience. I want to say a special word of thanks to all of our sponsors, our presenting sponsor, Wells Fargo, along with our generous partners, Prudential, CoBank, Winnebago Industries Foundation, Masco, the World Happiness Fest, Airbnb, Aero Electronics, Unlimited Tomorrow, and Touch the Top. We will see everyone in the next year through our programs. I hope to see you there. But in the meantime, make sure you submit your pledge, and I hope you continue to live your No Barriers life. And remember, what's within you is stronger than what's in your way. Thank you and good night.